Tonight is Sharon Mascarenis. Resignation of a member of the Election Commission has no influence on the local government polls. Relevant parties have agreed to call applications to appoint members to independent commissions. Sri Lanka receives the expected credit relief from China. Japan is also ready for further support. IMF praises Sri Lanka's attempt on economic revival. An all-party conference will be held under the patronage of the President. India celebrates the Republic Day with grandeur, showing cutting-edge military strength. On to those and other stories in detail, starting off with the top story for tonight. Convener of the PAFREL organization, Rohana Hettiarachchi, says that resignation of a member from the Election Commission causes no obstruction to hold the local government election.
He made these comments at a media briefing held today. A number of election monitoring groups met Chairman of the Election Commission Nimal Punchiheva and Commissioner General Saman Sri Ratnayaka. Leader of the Patriotic United National Front, Sugat Hevapatirana, says that thorough investigation should be conducted regarding the resignation of a member of Election Commission.
The first meeting of the Constitutional Council was held in Parliament yesterday under the patronage of its chairman and Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena. Attention was focused to the powers vested to the Commission by the Constitution and the future activities at this meeting. The members discussed the matters pertaining to establishment of independent commissions. The members agreed to call applications by a newspaper advertisement from the qualified and interested individuals to be appointed as new members of the commissions. Accordingly, applications will be called to appoint members to the Election Commission, Public Service Commission, National Police Commission, Audit Services Commission, Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission, Bribery Commission, Monetary Commission, Delimitation Commission and National Procurement Commission. Further information will be published in newspapers. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, Opposition Leader Sajith Premadasa and members of the Constitutional Council were present at this meeting. The IMF says that the political will exhibited by the leadership in Sri Lanka is praiseworthy at present.
Sri Lanka leaders are taking measures to accelerate reforms for economic revival and to increase taxes at the difficult moment. Executive Director of IMF, Dr. Krishnamurthy Subramaniam, stated that Sri Lanka has completed all requirements needed to obtain a relief package from the International Monetary Fund. The IMF director made these remarks when he met Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena today at the Prime Minister's office. He pointed out that the debt restructuring process will be completed following the final assurance of the main creditors. The Prime Minister enlightened the IMF delegation regarding the measures taken by the government to increase agriculture products for both local consumption and export as a remedy to overcome economic challenges. He stressed that welfare facilities are required for the families living under poverty. He also explained the measures taken to cut unnecessary imports and to increase export products. Dr. Subramaniam also pointed out that security net is essential for the economically vulnerable groups. He also said that at least monthly salaries are there for the state sector. However, many others have lost their ways of income. Therefore, people must be ready for commitments. The Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena declared open the headquarters building of the National Association of Agrarian Research Officers yesterday. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said that agrarian research officers make a praiseworthy contribution to make Sri Lanka self-sufficient with rice and other food items.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the 75th Independence Day ceremony will be held in a grand manner at a minimum cost. He made this comment at a meeting held today regarding the Independence Day ceremony. The President instructed the officials to focus attention on the current financial situation when estimating the required expenses. Many special programs are scheduled to be held in line with the Independence Day ceremony. Special puja for Sri Dalada, an all-night Pirit chanting ceremony and all religious observances will be held. The main ceremony is the traditional Independence Day ceremony that will be held in the Golface Green. A cultural show has also been organized. National parks and the zoological garden will be open free for the public. A Republic procession will be held in Kandy. Opening of Jaffna Cultural Center and the cycle tour from Dondrahead to Point Pedro are also among the special programs. The President stressed the need to minimize the expenses in organizing all these activities. The President also pointed out that a huge opposition is coming up among the public against the money allocated for the Independence Day ceremony. He requested the political authority and the government officials to focus special attention to minimize expenses in organizing these events. The President further said that Sri Lanka must celebrate the Independence Day. Unless the world will say that Sri Lanka is even unable to hold the Independence Day ceremony, we must build up a good image of our country by holding this ceremony. Therefore, we must limit the expenses as much as possible. Meanwhile, the government has also planned to start a project to establish urban forests in line with the Independence Day celebration. We expect to initiate the project prior to the COP28 climatic summit to be held in Dubai. Several new institutions will also be set up. The University on Climate Change will be started. These projects will cause long-term benefits to Sri Lanka. However, the Treasury is unable to bear the entire cost of these programs. We have to set aside money for these projects while spending money for the major essential sectors. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, Senior Advisor to the President Sagala Ratnayaka, President Secretary Saman Nekanayaka, Prime Minister's Secretary Anura Dissanayaka, secretaries and top officials of several line ministries participated in the discussion.
An all-party conference was held under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe today. Leaders of all political parties that represent the parliament were present at this conference. The Speaker, Prime Minister, the Opposition Leader and former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and Maithripala Sirisena have been invited for this meeting. Leader of the TNA R. Sambandhan, Leader of the NPP Anura Kumara Dissanayaka and many party leaders have also been invited. Attention was focused to enhance national reconciliation as decided by the President in meeting held on the 13th of December.
Results of the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination 2022 was released today. Results can be downloaded at the websites www.donet.lk or www.results.exam.gov.lk. The cut-off marks have also been issued according to the district and the language medium. Sinhalese medium cut-off marks for the Colombo district is 153. For Tamil medium, it is 144. The same cut-off marks are relevant to Gampaha, Kalutara, Kandy, Matale, Gaul, Matara, Kegaul and Kurunegala districts for both Sinhala and Tamil mediums. Sinhala medium cut-off marks for Vaunia, Mullaitivu and Mana districts is 145. For Tamil medium, it is 142. Cut-off marks for Sinhala medium in the Anuradhapura and Monaragala district is 148. While the Tamil medium is 141. Cut-off marks for Jaffna, Kilinochchi and Patiklo districts is 143 only in the Tamil medium. The minimum limit in the Nuwara district for Sinhala medium is 147 and the Tamil medium is 142. Sinhala medium cut-off marks for Hambantara district is 150 and for Tamil medium it's 140. Sinhala medium cut-off marks for Ratnapura district is 150, while for the Tamil medium it is 142. Sinhala medium limit in the Ampara district is 148 and the Tamil medium limit is at 143. For the Trincomalee district, Sinhala medium cut-off mark is 147 and the Tamil medium is 142. Students who are willing to submit appeals are able to do so until the 28th of February. Further information can be received by dialing hotline 1911 or 011 2784 208 537 011 2786 616 or 011 2785 922.
Now, the COPE committee held a discussion yesterday with the relevant officials regarding 4 major factors to decide a reasonable price for eggs. A heated discussion was held between the members of the COPE and the other officials. It is said that some reports submitted by the officials have misled the COPE members. Deciding a concessionary price for eggs by estimating the production cost, safeguarding the egg industry, rectifying the existing shortage of eggs and providing eggs at reasonable price for consumers are the matters they discussed. The 74th Republic Day ceremony of India falls today.
India celebrates this year's Republic Day in a moment the Indo-Sri Lanka relations have become unprecedentedly strong.
India became a republic on the 26th of January 1950. The main ceremony to mark the day was held at the Rajpath premises in New Delhi under the patronage of President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Modi. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi graced this occasion as the chief guest. This year's Republic Day celebration is significant due to several reasons. For the first time, India used their own 105mm Vajra cannons instead of a British cannon for the gun salute. The modern weaponry built in India, including Arjun armed cars, Akash, Nag and BrahMos missiles, were paraded in the march past. For the first time in history, foreign battalion of 120 Egyptian military officers also joined the march past. A ceremony held at the Indian High Commissioner's official residence in Colombo to mark this day. High Commissioner Gopal Bagle initiated the ceremony by hoisting the Indian national flag. A number of invited guests were present at this occasion. India instantly and broadly supported Sri Lanka to overcome the difficulties caused by the economic crisis last year.
India will continue to stand with the people of Sri Lanka and support democracy, stability and economic recovery in Sri Lanka.
I would like to underline that India is a reliable neighbor, a trustworthy partner, one who is prepared to go the extra mile when Sri Lanka feels the need. My presence here today is a statement about Prime Minister Modi's commitment to neighborhood first. We will stand by Sri Lanka in this hour of need and are confident that Sri Lanka will overcome the challenges that it currently faces.
During the 2022, only India has granted finance assistance and loans worth $4 billion to Sri Lanka as a solution to the economic crisis. The money was used to purchase fuel, fertilizer, medicine and food items. In addition, India has increased its grants for general development programs for 3 million to 600 million rupees. Sri Lanka's exports to India has increased by 15% last year, and the highest number of tourists arrived in the country from India. In line with the Republic Day ceremony, High Commissioner Gopal Bagle made a visit to national television today. He had a discussion with Chairman W.B. Ganegala and Director General Asanka Jalath, focusing special attention to increase national media cooperation between the two countries.
China's Export-Import Bank of China has provided Sri Lanka with a debt extension, China's foreign ministry said on Thursday, as Reuters reported. According to a letter reviewed by the Reuters, Exim offered Sri Lanka a 2-year moratorium on its debt and said it would support the country's efforts to secure a $2.9 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund. China and India are the biggest bilateral leaders to Sri Lanka, a country of 22 million people that is facing its worst economic crisis in 7 decades. China feels for Sri Lanka as it faces difficulties and challenges, has been helping with Sri Lanka's socio-economic development as best as we can, the foreign ministry said in comments to Reuters. India wrote to the IMF earlier this month saying it would commit to supporting Sri Lanka with financing and debt relief, but Sri Lanka also needs the backing of China in order to reach a financial agreement with the global lender. At the end of 2020, China Exim loaned Sri Lanka $2.83 billion, which is 3.5% of island's debt, according to an IMF report released in March last year. Exim is a policy bank tasked by Beijing with lending to governments and key industries globally.
Now, in the meantime, Japanese Vice Finance Minister for International Affairs Masato Kanda assures that Japan will closely coordinate with international organizations such as the Paris Club and the International Monetary Fund to ensure the participation of non-Paris Club members in Sri Lanka's debt restructuring plan. Japanese Vice Finance Minister for International Affairs stated that Japan was working hard to help Sri Lanka, which is suffering its worst economic crisis in 70 years, by coordinating with the Paris Club of Creditor Nations and the IMF to ensure the participation of non-members, including China and India, in efforts to restructure the country's debt.
The United Kingdom is ready to consider financing assures to Sri Lanka to secure a $2.9 billion extended fund facility with the International Monetary Fund, a UK official said. Minister of State and Development Anne-Marie Trevelyan, who told the British Parliament on Tuesday, January 24, that the UK is fully supportive of the proposed coordination platform between Sri Lanka's Paris Club and non-Paris Club creditors, which the British government believes represents the most efficient way to restore debt sustainability in Sri Lanka. Constructive engagement across creditors is vital to secure a prompt and comprehensive International Monetary Fund program for Sri Lanka and ensure a sustainable economic recovery. As a member of the Paris Club, the UK stands ready to consider the necessary financing assurances to secure an extended financing facility with the IMF in a timely manner, she said. She also responding to a question posed by Conservative MP Bob Blackman to the Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs James Cleverly on what assessment he has made on the implications for his policies of a statement on a previous statement from economists and academics calling on creditors to share the burden of debt restructuring for Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is cautiously optimistic that the IMF bailout package will come through in the first quarter, with the IMF board approval anticipated sometime in March. India has already assured the IMF on its assistance to Sri Lanka's debt restructuring plans, with the confirmation from China also expected in the coming weeks. The island nation is going through its worst currency crisis in decades, and the IMF loan would help unlock other avenues of financing that's desperately needed.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that modern technology needed to surpass the digital economy should be introduced to the industrial sector in Sri Lanka.
The president made these comments at a discussion held in the Presidential Secretariat yesterday regarding the international seminar and exhibition on new digital economy. This event is to be held in Sri Lanka in the last quarter of this year. The president stressed that opportunities for industrial education and training should be developed in the country. This seminar and the exhibition will be organized with the IMF of transforming the Sri Lanka industries from the existing technological level to digital economy. Another target of this event is to using new technology to increase the productivity and efficiency. The exhibition will also lead to introduce robotics, artificial intellect, Internet information and services, cyber systems and many other technical know-how. Attention was also focused at this discussion on empowering the society and distributing economic benefits to various social strata through developing the digital economic system. Organization activities of this exhibition has been entrusted to an operation committee headed by the State Minister Kanaka Herath. Representatives from 13 line ministries including Finance, Foreign Affairs, Industries, Education and Transport will also be included in the committee. State Minister Kanaka Herath and a group of top government officials including secretaries to the line ministries were present at the discussion.
The Health Promotion Bureau says that 1,325 new leprosy cases have been reported last year. Out of them, a majority of patients are from the Moratuwa Divisional Secretariat area. World Leprosy Day falls on the 29th of this month. Although Sri Lanka was certified as a country that eliminated leprosy in 1995, about 2,000 patients are identified annually. The disease is infected by a bacteria and transmitted by human to human. The relevant bacteria is spread through the respiratory system of infected persons. Doctors say that a definite vector that carry this disease has not yet been identified. If treatments are obtained, it is easy to cure the disease. The main symptoms of leprosy is having scars without nerve feelings. As the number of patients has increased in the Moratuwa area, Leprosy Prevention Campaign has organized several targeted programs. A walk has also been organized in line with the Leprosy Day. State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that the country has saved a sum of $2,500 million due to the suspension of imports. He made these comments at a ceremony held today at the Custom Headquarters to mark the International Customs Day. The theme of the day this year is a culture of sharing knowledge and nurturing the next generation to promote professional dignity within the customs. Meanwhile, a meeting between the IMF delegation and State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya was held at the Ministry of Finance today. The State Minister said that talks held with the Director of IMF, Dr. Krishnamurthy Subramaniam, and other members were successful.
The Development Lotteries Board has earned a profit of 3 billion rupees during the last year for the first time in history. The total turnover last year is 19 billion rupees. The board has granted 10 billion rupees as lottery prizes. It is significant that the Development Lotteries Board has reported this profit amidst the crisis situation prevailed in the country throughout the year. The board constantly updates the network of sales agents. They have mainly contributed to achieve this target with the support of retail sellers. The Development Lotteries Board introduced a new business logo on the 19th of this month in line with its 40th anniversary. The board aims to further increase the profit this year.
My Profession program will bring information from today regarding the entrepreneurs who contribute to the national economy, overcoming many challenges amidst the existing economic crisis. Pearl Land Commodities in Horana has introduced many variety of products to the market under the title of Pelkomo. Productions of spices and value-added items are among them. Dehydrated jackfruit, breadfruit and spices are major products of this institute. This business has been started as a household industry 3 years ago. At present, the institute supplies products to both local and international markets. This has provided direct and indirect employment opportunities to a large number of people in the area. Raw materials for this industry is obtained from the locality itself. Any person who is able to provide such raw materials according to relevant standards can join the institute and have the opportunity to earn an income by supplying raw materials.
A ceremony to place new pinnacle and the divine statues at the Sri Kandasamy Kovil in Panadura was held today. The Kovil is a major place dedicated for God Kataragama. The ceremony has been organized under the guidance of the chief priest of the Kovil, the Brahma Sri Lakshmi Kanda Jagadisha Kurukkal. Many devotees from Panadura, Kaluthura and surrounding areas were present to obtain blessings at the ceremony. That's a look at local news. Stay with us. Foreign news is coming up next.
Prima Katami Pantamai.
And on to foreign news now, starting off from Ukraine. Ukraine's president has thanked the Western leaders for sending tanks to support the fight against Russia, but said they needed to be delivered quickly.
In his nightly address, Volodymyr Zelensky also urged the West to send long-range missiles and fighter jets. His comments came after the US and Germany announced they would send Abrams and Leopard tanks to Ukraine. Russia condemned the announcement as a blatant provocation and said any supply tanks would be destroyed. Ukraine's President Zelensky said that he told NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg that progress must be made in other aspects of that defense cooperation, with Ukraine seeking supplies of long-range missiles and artillery.
Taliban ministers have told a senior UN official they plan to draw up new guidelines to allow Afghan women to work in some humanitarian operations. Martin Griffith told that he had received encouraging responses from a wide range of Taliban ministers during talks in Kabul, even if last month's edict banning Afghan women working for NGOs is not reversed. With Afghan women playing a crucial role in delivering aid, there is a concern that the ban is endangering urgent life-saving humanitarian operations in the country. The aid arithmetic is staggering. This year, agencies will try to reach 28 million Afghans, more than half of the population, including 6 million, who are, Martin Griffith says, knocking on famine's door.
On the day, a 6-year-old pupil shot and wounded his teacher in the U.S. state of Virginia, school leaders were warned 3 times that the boy might have a gun, a lawyer for the teacher said. The teacher, Abigail Zwerner, 25, is recovering after being released from hospital last week. In the fallout, the school's superintendent has now lost his job. Board members of Richneck Elementary School voted 5-1 to sack George Parker. The removal of George Parker happened only hours after Abigail Zwerner's lawyer, Diane Toscano, announced plans to sue the district, saying the shooting was entirely preventable. Police have not announced any charges.
Authorities in North Korean capital Pyongyang have ordered a 5-day lockdown due to rising cases of an unspecified respiratory illness. Seoul-based North Korean news agency reported on Wednesday, citing a government notice. The notice did not mention COVID-19, but said that residents in the city were required to stay in their homes until the end of Sunday and submit to temperature checks multiple times each day, according to new North Korean news agency. The website reported that Pyongyang residents appear to be stocking up on goods in anticipation of stricter measures.
Classified files have been found at former United States Vice President Mike Pence's home in the latest discovery of secret papers at the homes of officials who have served in the top ranks of government. The documents discovered by a lawyer last week for Pence at his Indiana home have been handed over to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Investigators are already looking into President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump's possession of files.
Prima, cut to me, Fantamai!
And in sports news, a ceremony to felicitate the sportsmen and women of the Sri Lankan Air Force who have shown national and international level skills and achievements was held at the Air Force headquarters under the patronage of Air Force Commander Air Marshal Sudarshana Patirana.
Sportsmen and women who won trophies at the 8 national and international tournaments were awarded with souvenirs and cash prizes at this ceremony. ICC has named Surya Kumar Yadav of India as the T20 Player of the Year. Mohammad Rizwan of Pakistan, Sam Curran of England and Zimbabwe all-rounder Sikand Raza are also among the recommended names. Out of them, Surya Kumar Yadav was adjudicated as the most successful batsman in the year 2022. The ICC has announced the latest one-day cricket ratings. Accordingly, Indian player Mohammad Siraj is on the top of the bowlers list. Trent Boult of New Zealand is at the 2nd place, while Josh Hazlewood of Australia is in 3rd place.
Prima, cut to me, Fantamai!
And that's all the stories for tonight. Do join us tomorrow for more of the very latest. Good night.
My dear brothers and sisters from Sri Lanka, Namaskar, Ayubowan, Vanakkam. I convey my greetings to you all on the occasion of India's 74th Republic Day. It was on 26th January 1950 that the Indian Constitution, the world's largest written constitution, came into effect. This year's Republic Day celebrations are unique on multiple counts. India and Sri Lanka will jointly mark an important milestone, establishment of 75 years of their diplomatic relations. Government of India and Sri Lanka will undertake a series of joint activities this year to mark this landmark occasion. Sri Lanka celebrates the 75th Independence Day next week on 4th February. I take this opportunity to wish all the people of Sri Lanka a happy Independence Day in advance. Friends, India has been demonstrating its commitment to the people of Sri Lanka in different ways. I will cite two recent examples. India is the only bilateral creditor nation of Sri Lanka to have conveyed written financing assurance to IMF in order to clear the way for Sri Lanka and enable the IMF program. The second example is India's unprecedented support of around $4 billion last year itself. Supply of food, fuel, fertilizer and medicine from India under this Indian assistance have benefited all sections of the Sri Lankan society. Under India's lines of credit, supply of buses and SUVs as well as railway projects continue because these supplies help our Sri Lankan brothers and sisters. Friends, as we move forward, India will continue to do everything possible to help Sri Lanka's economic recovery and growth. As the fifth largest economy in the world and an ever reliable partner of Sri Lanka, India will work towards channelizing more investments in sector of importance for Sri Lanka, which promise employment and boost economic activities in the country. Areas like infrastructure, health, renewable energy, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals and tourism shall receive special attention. While we await figures for calendar year 2022, India was the largest source of investment for Sri Lanka in 2021. The use of Indian rupee in bilateral trade will act as a catalyst in the commercial and business arena. Friends, Sri Lanka's exports to India also grew by 15% during the 6-month period April to September 2022. With over 100,000 tourists last year, India continues to be largest source of tourists for Sri Lanka. Almost 1 in every 5 to 6 tourists in Sri Lanka is an Indian. A stronger and closer interaction between the people will pave way for deeper linkages between the two countries. Therefore, connectivity is a force multiplier. I am glad that Chennai-Jaffna flights have recommenced recently. Resumption of ferry services between India and Sri Lanka will also be a welcome development. India has recently doubled the scale of Government of India's grant projects from Sri Lankan rupees 300 million to Sri Lankan rupees 600 million for each such project. Our commitment to roll out unique digital identity cards is a testimony to the dynamic and evolving nature of India-Sri Lanka development cooperation. India also augments the inland and maritime security landscape by providing state-of-the-art equipment to Sri Lanka, Dornier for maritime surveillance, and SUVs for Sri Lanka police are recent examples. Friends, multidimensional nature of the bilateral relationship is built on the robust foundation of our millennia-old connect between the people of India and Sri Lanka. We are indeed civilizational twins. Dear brothers and sisters, as both countries prepare themselves individually as well as jointly for celebrating various landmarks this year, I am confident that the content and extent of this relationship will continue to grow from strength to strength. Thank you. Ayubovan, Vanakkam, Dhanyavad.
I am the tricolour. 75 years ago, I was unfurled to mark a new dawn for India. A young nation with an ancient civilization. In 1947, the newly independent India faced enormous challenges. The battle of poverty, confronting illiteracy, integration of more than 562 millions into one nation, providing basic amenities to its citizens and embarking on a journey of growth and transformation. Since then, I have been a witness to an India that braved those myriad challenges by evolving constantly, and whose voice is now shaping the global discourse. I flutter with immense pride as we celebrate the 75th anniversary of India's independence. As the nation celebrates its Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Har Ghar Tiranga campaign has taken me to all corners of India, from Ladakh to Kerala, from Manipur to Rajasthan. I, as a symbol of unity and strength of India, will rise and fly. India at 75 is a perfect blend of ancient cultural heritage and modernity, standing at the cusp of history. With the support of various farmer-centric schemes, policies and advanced R&D facilities in place, India today is one of the largest producers and exporters of agricultural products. India's space program is reflective of the robustness and versatility of India's scientific capabilities. ISRO has made its mark in the field of space technology by launching a great number of satellites from all across the globe, from Chandrayaan to Mangalyaan, from PSLV to Mission Shakti, and visionary projects like Chandrayaan 3 and Gaganyaan lined up. India has managed to conquer space time and time again. The tremendous growth in India's science and technology sector is a product of some brave and exploratory initiatives taken up by the government to inject innovation and entrepreneurship into the work culture. Today we are a nuclear powerhouse, making exponential advancements in bio and nanotechnology and conquering the digital age through revolutionary ideas like Digital India. India's IT sector has grown by leaps and bounds in the last few years. The sector is expected to skyrocket given the rising demand of newer technologies like cloud and analytics. India's GDP has seen a constant upward trend in recent times. Industrialization, especially the manufacturing sector, has reaped the benefits of the world's youngest and largest workforce through innovative flagship programs like Make in India, Skill India and Startup India. Today, India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, with more than 100 unicorn startups worth more than $300 billion. The world witnessed India's true capabilities in terms of healthcare during the COVID-19 pandemic. Hailed as the pharmacy of the world, India is now seen as a favoured destination by people from around the world for obtaining high-quality medical care at affordable prices. Premier Indian institutions are credited for producing experts, skilled professionals and global leaders in every field. The public health and education infrastructure has seen an exponential growth in the last few years. Initiatives like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao and the new education policy of 2020 were a step further to strengthening this very foundation. Be it the Ayushman Bharat scheme or the world's largest vaccination drive, one can be assured that the future of India's health sector is in safe hands. Khelo India and Fit India campaigns are giving this young nation a new energy and dynamism. One of my proudest moments is when I'm raised to herald the victory of an Indian, along with the national anthem playing in the background and the cheering crowd there and back home. In 2014, India got a resolution adopted by the United Nations to celebrate 21st June every year as the International Day of Yoga. Today, the whole world is practicing yoga for a healthy living. Over the past few years, India has witnessed extensive growth in the speed, scale and quality of infrastructure. Today, the country is globally recognized for the fastest construction of highways, expressways, ports, dams, airports, railways, tunnels and bridges.